Shabbat Shalom. Paul Yahweh Shemel Shaiba Shemakah Badash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, even the elders who came before them that taught us his truth. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, to the Akbach that are listening and learning, being a pillar of rest, 144,000 and one-third, the hopeful elect of Israel. I'm the brother slash elder. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to you all. It's the World War III Daily Update. We're going to start right here with these small hats in Jeremiah 49 and 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the word, Salah. They're purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely, the least of the flock shall draw them out. There are the small hats right there, the Amalekites. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. So how does that apply to this? The Open-Minded Thinkers show, right? And 3 hours ago, breaking news. And this is very important because if you think back to the pagers blowing up in Lebanon with Hezbollah, we know who did that in the pinpoint accuracy or whatever. So what they're doing is they're saying that the IDF or what do these guys call themselves? The Mossad, Israeli Mossad, has the ability to take out ammo dumps that they know are destined to hit their positions. That's basically what's being said here. So pay attention to that, because if that's true, that's the small hats, right? Doing what? Drawing them out. Doing what? Oh, yeah, we can. This might be a surgical strike on the level of pagers blowing up. So let's take a look at this. Damn it. It's a lot. Open-Minded Thinker, 3 hours. Iran's shocking announcement after devastating explosion in vital seaport. So they blew up an ammo dump, which those weapons were supposed to go somewhere in Lebanon, I think, to strike the Israelis. So let's see what's being said here.
That is the actual Abbas, Iran's vital artery for maritime commerce along the Persian Gulf. Whenever
try it again.
That is the actual scene of the Raja'i port in Bandar Abbas, Iran's vital artery for maritime commerce along the Persian Gulf when everything appears peaceful. The air hums with the usual clatter of cranes and the chatter of dockworkers, when suddenly and then suddenly a thunderous explosion rips through the calm. Thick plumes of black smoke spiral into the sky, and panic seizes the port.
Coming from Iran, there's been a massive explosion at a major port in the south of the country.
This blast has already sparked intense speculation. Social media platforms like X are ablaze with grainy videos and unverified claims, with many pointing to a targeted strike rather than a random mishap. Was it a gas leak, a mishandled crate, or something?
So
check this out.
What is this causing as we go to this commercial? What is this causing? Well, everybody's on edge right now waiting to see who's going to preemptively strike who, and ammo dumps are blowing up in Iran. Who did that? And what will it cost? Whole bunch of finger pointing at the very least, right?
Or something far more sinister. The word sabotage is trending, and the whispers are growing louder. Let's unpack this unfolding drama, sifting through what we know, what's rumored, and why this incident might be a calculated move in a much larger geopolitical chess game.
This could start World War III, as they say, as though it's not already started. But this could be a shot across the bow, depending on how they're going to spin it. Could it be a Gulf of Tonkin moment, if you understand what that means?
OMT News, we're dedicated to bringing you sharp, no-nonsense analysis on the conflicts shaping Palestine, Yemen, and beyond.
Or for that matter, a Franz Ferdinand moment. Okay. In line with world wars and things of that nature.
If you value balanced, unfiltered discussion,
it's a little advertisement right there that I couldn't do without. Try to time it perfectly here.
According to posts circulating on X and corroborated by regional sources, appears to have targeted a specific shipment of ammunition tied to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Quds Force.
Quds Force. Okay, so this is the important information right here. Somehow, they were able to target this ammo dump and know where it was, when it was delivered, and precisionally take it out. Now, was it an inside job? All things must be considered. But never let what? A good crisis go to waste. So anybody could take this and spin it the way that they want. The West can use it and say, oh, they blew up themselves and they're trying to get now they're going to get us, so we got to whatever the rhetoric that they spin nowadays, they could just say anything, Wasn't me.
Of the conversation. The explosion, according to posts circulating on X and corroborated by regional sources, appears to have targeted a specific shipment of ammunition tied to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Quds Force, an elite unit responsible for overseas operations. This wasn't just any cargo. It was reportedly bound for the Lebanese resistance, a key pillar in Iran's network of regional allies. The blast's precision is striking. It occurred just as the shipment was being prepped for loading onto a vessel, suggesting intimate knowledge of the port's operations. Rajayi is no ordinary dock. It's a fortress of security, with military cargo under intense scrutiny. An accident seems improbable given the layers of oversight. Iranian authorities have remained tight-lipped, offering no official statement on the cause, which only fuels suspicion. The sophistication of the strike, if deliberate, points to a perpetrator with advanced intelligence capabilities and a knack for covert operations. Enter Israel's Mossad, the intelligence agency that's practically synonymous with audacious covert missions. For decades, Mossad has been linked to a string of high-profile operations inside Iran, each more brazen than the last. Think back to 2010, when the Stuxnet virus, widely attributed to Israel and the US, crippled centrifuges at Iran's Natanz nuclear facility, setting back its uranium enrichment program. Or 2018, when Mossad agents allegedly infiltrated a Tehran warehouse and spirited away Iran's nuclear archives in a heist straight out of a spy thriller. Explosions at sensitive Iranian sites, nuclear plants, missile factories, gas pipelines often bear Mossad's hallmark, even if Israel rarely takes credit. The Rajayi port incident fits this pattern like a glove. A high-value target, a strategic moment, and just enough deniability to keep the world guessing. Could this be another chapter in Israel's shadow war against Iran? The timing of this explosion is impossible to ignore, and it's where things get really intriguing.
This is the...
Slocky, this is really good. I'm going to let it continue to play. Good information. Salaki.
Really intriguing. The US and Iran are in the thick of high-stakes nuclear negotiations, with a second round of talks wrapping up in Rome just yesterday. These discussions, mediated by Oman, are a tightrope walk. Iran is pushing for sanctions relief to ease its battered economy, while the US demands strict limits on Tehran's nuclear activities. President Donald Trump, back in the White House, has been characteristically blunt, warning of military action if Iran doesn't comply. Israel, Iran's sworn enemy, is deeply uneasy about any deal that might leave Iran's nuclear infrastructure intact. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has repeatedly called Iran's nuclear program an existential threat, and his government is reportedly preparing contingency plans for a strike on sites like Natanz or Fordo. A sabotage operation at Rajai could be Israel's way of flexing its muscles, signaling to both Iran and the US that it's ready to act if diplomacy
Nothing can stop this
Iran's
Third World War. Okay? This is the Pendragon, if you understand Pendragon. This is the tip of the spear. Why is this theater of war more important than, let's say, the Pakistani-Indian war that's been going on forever, but now done reached its head, right, up into the limelight in the last couple of days, assuring you that this is World War III, all right? Things are out of control. Why is Pakistan and India, this ancient war, why is it suddenly bubbling to the top? Because this is World War III. Now, that's one theater. Another theater, Korea. There's no such thing as North and South Korea. There's only Korea. So whoever drew a line down the middle and started a war, guess what? That's a theater of war. Who's there? Well, Babylon the Great is there, right? Who's in the Middle East? Well, the Babylon the Great is there with their proxy, the small hats that are starting this whole damn thing. Well, who's over there fighting with NATO? Well, Babylon the Great is over there shooting long-range missiles at Vladimir Putin, who has the most weapons of all. Okay. Well, who's over there threatening China if they go into their own land called Taiwan? Who's threatening? Well, that would be Babylon the Great. Why is this Iranian situation? Why is this the most important? This is Joel 3 and 2. I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay, so where is the valley of Jehoshaphat? That's in the Middle East. All right, so where's Iran? Iran is in the Middle East. This is what makes it so significant. What makes it even more significant is when you understand what all nations means. It means all nations in their fatigues, ready to fight. See, when I bring all the armies of the world, where? Into the Middle East. This is why. See, eventually, all of these countries that are participating in World War III, right, are going to culminate. They're going to have a contingent of forces in the Middle East. For example, I'll show that in the scriptures. This is Ezekiel 38. Here we have, this is Ezekiel 38 and 5. This is Iran, right? It says Iran with you. With who? With Russia. Let's cut to the chase. This is Ezekiel 38 and 5. Persia, which is Iran. Persia what? All the way down here, and many nations with you. With who? With Russia. What are you going to do with them? Well, Russia got to get ready, prepare for their self. Them and all the company gathered around you. Right? Who would that be? That would be Iran. Right? And they're going to do what? You will be their guard. What is this? This is not the King James. Be thou a guard unto them. All right? So where are they going to be guarding them? Who's fighting? Well, Iran is fighting, or where is Benjamin Netanyahu sending his missiles? He's sending them to Iran. Well, how then is Russia going to be a guard? Be a guard unto who? Unto Iran. You got to send some troops to Iran. Where's that? In the Middle East. You see how that works? It says, prepare for yourself. Make sure they got all the nukes and all the ammo that they need, and then go over there and stand guard. How do you guard Persia without sending troops over there? You send what? See, a nigga would have a smart ass, because a nigga is stupid and he don't know shit. So, Lockie, I'm not even supposed to be saying that, but it was last time. A nigga don't know shit. They send weapons over. Well, nigga, who's going to work the weapons? That only an American, you understand, or that only a Russian. If Russia's going to send weapons to Persia where they don't speak Russian, who's going to fucking fire the weapon, nigga? You see that? With that, we hope that the elector edified you brothers and sisters. Shalom.